Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's episode of UnCaped Heroes. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us. We hope today that you leave inspired and intrigued to have met yet another amazing individual from this beautiful world that we live in. My name is Stacy Johnson. Honored to be here with you, and equally as honored to sit alongside my co-host, Casey Holland. Cassie, how are you today?
I am doing great. I'm looking forward to this conversation and shining the light on our wonderful guest. How are you?
I'm doing really well. You know, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday. She's from Virginia, and we were just talking about life. And we got to talking about this podcast. And she said, you know, I get so inspired by listening to this podcast that you do. Tell me about it for you. And I told her, I said, you know, the opportunity that it gives me to meet people from all over the world and share experiences and share information and maybe connect one person that we meet to someone else who has and who needs what they have. I feel so blessed that God kind of gave me this job where I get to meet these amazing people, and then somewhere down the road we talk to someone else and they have a need or a program, and they just so fit the person that we talked to a couple of days ago, and the ability to connect those people and watch those relationships build and change just through open communication. I'm just honored. I don't know what a better way to say it is. So if she asked you the same question, how would you answer that question?
You know, it gives me the opportunity, you know, and I think that I've referenced this before, right? When my kids were old enough to go to school, I decided to homeschool them because I wanted to be in control of what they learn, right? I want to be, but as I take that role on, it's my obligation to teach them from all sides. So meeting these people and hearing their stories and learning their wisdom and hearing what they have to offer just makes that much easier.
Brings a different perspective, doesn't it? I love that. I love the way that you see the incorporation in how you teach your children. That's so important. You know, that I love that concept that you have of teaching them from all sides. I think that's so important. Well, let's get the show on the road today. We have a lady joining us all the way from Jerusalem, Israel, and we are honored to have her with us. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Marjie Haddad, welcome.
Shalom. How are you?
We're beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us today. So how about you kick us off? Tell us, who is Marjie? What do you do? How come you do that? And how can people connect with you?
Well, Marjorie is my formal name, but I go by Marjie because I'm not so formal. I take the job very seriously, but I don't take myself too seriously. I like to have a good time and laugh all the time. So everybody just call me Marjie, and it's nice to meet you. And I have been in public relations for 30 years now. I'm a public relations expert, and my specialty is in medical PR. I'm also the proud mom of 3 amazing grown kids. One is 26, 23, and 18. And I recently started a new movement called the PR parenting movement, which ultimately is intended to inspire positivity and light and good communication skills to make the world a better place in the long term, so that people will be PR parenting for years to come and hopefully generations to come. And the idea is to make parenting easier and to help our children be the best that they can be their best selves using public relations strategies. And I wrote a book called The Power of PR Parenting, How to Raise Confident, Resilient, and Successful Children Using Public Relations Strategies, which, ladies, just went on pre-order on Amazon, and it hit number 1 in multiple categories. So nice. That's kind of an exciting thing. Yeah. It comes out actually on April 4th. So basically like another month. And I'm also starting a PR parenting program at the end of May, and in honor of Working Moms Day on March 12th, we're going to be having a drawing, and whoever signs up between now and then will be part of this drawing, and whoever wins gets a free scholarship, full scholarship to the program. So it's starting, and like I said, I hope, it's going to start with this launch of this book, but I hope that it continues for generations to come and that we can make the world a better place using public relations strategies. So I got to this point because my older daughter, like I said, I have 3 kids, and she had said to me, "Mom, you made mistakes, but overall I think you got it right." And she's the one who told me to write the book. So I did, because we have a motto in our family: if we can help, we should help. So here I am trying to help.
I love that. If we can help, we should help. What a great motto. So give me a quick example.
Yes.
Can you give me a quick example of a PR concept you turn into a parenting concept? Give me an example so our listeners can understand. What do you mean by using PR in parenting?
Building self-esteem. In work, we are constantly sharing feedback with our clients in such a way that we can inspire them to receive the feedback positively and to improve, because there's no such thing as the perfect first draft. There's no such thing as the perfect first run. And if we can teach our children the same thing, then when they get feedback, they will receive it as it is intended to help improve whatever it is that they're doing. And they won't see it as a criticism. And then that way you can build resilience. You can build self-esteem, because every time you do it again, you're going to get better and better. And you do it with positivity and with love and kindness, so that they feel good about themselves throughout the process and the journey. It's very similar to what we do at work, and if you can bring that skill set home and that strategy home, then you're going to watch your kids soar ultimately.
Beautiful. Cassie, as a homeschool mom and raising 3 small kids. I love it. Cassie, as a homeschool mom and raising 3 small kids, how does that resonate with you?
I think that's a brilliant concept. Right, and relating lessons like that to everyday situations, that's why I appreciate stuff like that so much, right? Because I remember when I was in school and they had the character counts, right? And it was be responsible and be blah, blah, blah. But there was never any here it is, real life example. Here's how you put this to use when you're 5 and when you're 40. Right? So I appreciate that. I appreciate that concept.
I'm so glad you like that. Let's take it an extra step. When you edit your child, no matter what they're working on, whether it's a school assignment or a job application or a letter to somebody, and you say, you know what, that's a great first draft, because all first drafts are great, and they're not meant to be perfect. They're supposed to be first drafts, to the earlier point. But then when you edit them, never edit in red. Always choose a pastel color, something soft and nice and pretty, so that by the end of your edit, the paper looks pretty. It doesn't look alarming. It's a visual way to reinforce the self-esteem and understand that everything's okay. It's only feedback to make it better. And then when they rewrite it, one, they get practice in terms of composition and spelling and content and progression of the content. but they also have this positive experience of making something really wonderful together with you. And it also helps to strengthen the bond between mother and child or mother and teacher, what have you, so that a trust is reinforced, that they know that whenever they get feedback, it's really just to help them improve. And then when they rewrite it, they see just how much they had improved. So they have the progress literally in their hands.
I love that. I love that. That's a great idea. So
it's practical. And I learned that on the job, by the way. It was one of my mentors who had taught me about the concept of color. He never edited in red. He always edited in blue. And he never made me feel like an idiot for getting something wrong, which always inspired me to want to try again.
Love that. I love it. So let me ask you a different question. Throughout your journey and your travels and your, between the United States and Israel and the people that you've met and the programs that you have created, what is a hero to you? And who's your hero?
My heroes are those people who do things that can be applied to personkind universally. So at the core of it, I would have to say that my heroes are anybody who works in the healthcare profession, and definitely the frontline workers at the hospitals and at the medical clinics, and anybody who is creating technologies or therapies that are going to help to save lives and completely eliminate pain and help us to live healthier, more able lives. At the core of it, that's who my heroes are, because they're saving lives every day, and they're going to help to save more lives in the future.
I love that. I'm always humbled by the definitions that we get for heroes and those that are identified, because there's so many times they're just everyday people, just like those frontline workers. I have a daughter that's a nurse and a son-in-law that's a fireman. So I have a great appreciation for your respect and admiration of those frontline workers and those healthcare workers, because you're right, they save lives. And they'll be a part of the changes that we see coming. I appreciate that.
Yep, we can't do it without them. And they really put themselves on the line and put them, the frontline workers put their own lives at risk to help others, but also the medical technology community is really doing their best to advance medical science to the benefit of everybody. That is, like I said at the top of this, that is my specialty. It's medical PR. So I'm privy to know what's in development before anybody else knows what's going on, because I learn about it literally, at the earliest stages, even at conception of idea, and then watch it develop along the way until eventually it comes to market. And it's always inspiring to watch the process and to watch the people who are so passionate about helping others that it's contagious in the most wonderful way.
I think that there's a level of peace that statement right there might bring to a whole lot of people that can't decide whether or not to trust the medical community. And so to hear someone from underneath say, I'm watching positive things happen, that's going to be encouraging for lots of people.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, the things that are in clinical trials right now or about to go into clinical trials right now, you would be astounded by how much they're going to save people time, energy, money, aggravation, and make them feel better. I mean, just some things that have been brushed aside for years because they just didn't have the tools to fix it. The tools are literally being created. It's really outstanding. And I'm actually humbled on a daily basis by working with some of the best and brightest people in the world, who, by the way, happen to be very nice people, too, and really fun, with great senses of humor.
That helps, doesn't it?
And they're, oh, my gosh. Well, that's a prerequisite for me to work with anybody. You have to have a sense of humor.
I like it. So let me ask you another question. Marjie, along this journey, right through the people you've met and the things that you do and the light that you shine for other people, what's a life lesson that you've learned along the way you feel like everybody ought to have the opportunity to know?
The life lesson is actually the quote in my book. It's a variation of an old Irish proverb. I'll give you the variation. Keep your eye on the donut, not on the hole.
I love that. You're going to have to expand on that.
Are you familiar with the proverb? I think it's keep your eye upon the donut and not upon the hole. There's some sort of like old Irish language version of it. And I looked it up to see who originally said it, and it just said an old Irish proverb. My Aunt Nancy, my maternal Aunt Nancy, had sent me a greeting card with this on the front of it decades ago when I was going through a tough time. And it really made me laugh. But it also gave me some perspective. And I think she sent it to me in my early 20s. So it's something that I've lived by since then and that I've taught to my children. So oftentimes I'll just say, eye on the donut, which means keep your focus. Don't get caught up in the negative. The glass is always half full. It's never half empty. And I would add that if you maintain your focus and you keep your sense of humor, again, that sense of humor is so important that you can get through anything.
I love the fact that that's so profound and so simple at the same time.
I was going to say, my kids will love that one.
Every time there's a test, every time there's a challenge, any time that there's a crisis that we need to work through, whether it's health or violence related, because we've gotten mixed up in a whole lot of different stuff over the years, and you can read about it in the book. I mean, let's just say fact is stranger than fiction, and I couldn't make this stuff up. But I would always say to the kids, eye on the donut, and they knew exactly what I meant, and they'd say, eyes on the donut, Mom, and all right.
I love that. I have a son, and I reference this all the time, that takes jiu-jitsu. And we don't have losses in this house. We have lessons. So you either win or you learn. And I feel like the donut concept goes right along with that. I love that. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Most definitely. If you had a one-liner of advice or wisdom to put on a T-shirt, what would it say?
One-liner on a T-shirt. Peace, love, light.
Beautiful. Can you expand on that, please?
Well, I wish everybody peace. and all that that means. Bring the light and have lots of love. I think that's the equation for a really joyful, happy life. You know, it's kind of interesting because, may I have your permission just to talk about the cover of the book for just a moment, because this lends itself to it. When I was choosing the cover, thank you. When I was choosing the cover, I wanted the power of PR parenting to speak to all parents, wherever they are, worldwide, no matter what their community, no matter what their background. I didn't want it to be visually associated with any one community. And the one thing that we all have in common is the sky. A blue sky, sometimes with, on a pretty day with white clouds passing by. And I thought, when you look at the sky, we all see that. It's the thing that we share in common. It's a common denominator. And when you look at the sky, you see possibility and endless potential. And when you look at the sky, it's very peaceful. The sun is shining, so there's light. And you feel love in your heart. So peace, love, and light. That was the feeling that I wanted people to have when they look at the book. A sense of calm, a sense of hope, and a sense of answer, and that the possibilities are endless. So the saying on the T-shirt goes along with the theme of the front cover of my book, and that I hope not only does the saying, but I also hope that the book and the cover not only speak to everybody, but also help and bring that peace, love, and light, and a new way of thinking, a new way of doing it, something, and ultimately success, however you define success.
I love that. Again, I'm going to just say amazed is the only word I can come up with right this second. We've asked this question over 400 times, and we have 400 different answers. Not one person has repeated someone else on that one line of wisdom. It fascinates me. It's the coolest thing ever. It just proves how much wisdom there is out there. I love it. I love it. Ladies, I know I could keep having this conversation all day long. I've had such a great time. But with respect to you and the end of your evening, Margie, and with respect to our audience, we are going to have to find that place to wind down. So I would like to start by saying thank you for your time, for ending your day with us, for the wisdom that you share, and for the light that you leave and provide for so many people. I'm honored to have gotten to spend this time with you. Cassie, how would you like to leave our audience today? I continue to be humbled, Margie, but I hope you recognize, even for today, how many people that you probably stand as a hero to without even recognizing it. So thank you for the invisible cape that you wear and the space that you provide for people and the parenting. I love your concept of parenting. So, Cassie, if you're with us, how would you like to close out our show today from your end? I know she's got her hands full with 3 kids she's homeschooling and a baby goat she's trying to nurse. So, Margie, I'm going to turn the stage over to you and give us a moment. How would you like to leave our audience today?
I would just like to say Toda Rabah, which means thank you very much in Hebrew. And thank you for the opportunity to speak with you and with your listenership and community. And if I can be of service to anyone, please feel free to reach out to me. Like I said in our conversation, if you can help, you should help. So here I am trying to help, and I am available. So just write to me. You can find me on PRFOR.life. And other than that, I am wishing you and Cassie, her kids, your kids, and the baby goats, and everybody listening, peace, love, and light.